as you walked over there, were you sort of dancing? And what was it, a dance walk, or was it just a simple walk? Or yeah, that's good.
Dan Reese says, my flat has sprung a few leaks through the night. Nice and damp, perfect for slugs. What is going on? This is so weird.
Keep slugging every day. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to James and Flav for now. The best podcast you've never heard of. What other taglines have I had? It's almost a football podcast. What you got, Flav?
Peripheries of football.
On the peripheries, yeah. It's a football podcast, but is it?
Is it? Yeah, all of those things. Yep. Good start to the pod, Jim, I think.
Really solid. Both wearing grey. It's grey out there, but this will lighten your mood, guys. I've got two pieces of fruit to the right of me. What are they? Put them in the comments now, and I will reveal them at some stage. I reckon patrons will know, because they just know, don't they? Because they're high-level slugs, moist slugs.
Yeah.
but you non-slugs out there, give it a go in the comments. Give it a bloody go.
I did have a point actually, mate. You said that it's the best podcast no one's ever heard of, which is what we used to be. But reality is, something like 19,000 people watched this last week.
Big time.
So we are big time. We're getting big time.
Yeah. Well, let's dive into this, because many a comment I'm really excited about. We've got some new bits on the table. We'll see if we like them. If we don't, we throw them out the window, because there's always new bits on the way. We've got, finally, we'll answer the story behind the Gone Back United badge, some high quality rumours, and we will address the situation with Hugh's girlfriend. For those of you last week who missed that one.
Can I just take a moment to congratulate James on 70,000 subscribers on YouTube?
Very much. Do I press the applause button for myself? Probably don't.
Yep. Press it.
No, I actually haven't got it in front of me, so I can't do. Well, thank you though. Thank you. Appreciate it.
30,000 between, but from the big one.
I know, which is miles away, isn't it? No. We've done this, haven't we? This is, and I'll be honest, I want more subs than Ball Street. That's what I want now. That's the next thing I've got in my sights. I want more than Ball Street.
Because Ball Street hasn't uploaded a video for.
Shut up. No, it's not.
That's not. I mean, you're setting up competitions that don't mean anything. Jim.
The point is,
set your sights on True Geordie.
Yeah, 1.9 mil. That's what I'm after, guys. So you could be the one. You could be the one person who gets me over the line. No, 30,000. We said when we got to 80k with Ball Street, we're basically there. So I am not counting my chickens. No chance.
But anyway, if you want to go and watch us on Ball Street, we've got a couple of videos out there.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so we're doing 3 weeks of transfer stories. So we did one last week. We did one today, which is coming out today. So once you finish watching this, go check that out on Ball Street. And we're also doing a 4-hour live stream on deadline day. So,
so me, James, 4 hours of time, transfers, probably.
Yeah, and somehow we're going to try and crowbar non-football chat in there at some stage.
Yeah, I mean, as much
give it a go. We'll give it a bloody go.
Yeah, it won't be this.
Indeed. Right, let's get into this, mate.
Well, before we do, did you see that article posted by an American gambling firm who basically printed what everybody earns on YouTube, all the big top 20 YouTube channels, and their YouTube earnings?
Just missed out, did I?
You wasn't on there, but no. To be honest, your channel is bigger than some of those on there, so it's a bit odd.
That earn more money?
Well, they picked up a YouTube channel for each club ultimately. Actually, Spurs had We Are Tottenham TV and Expression, so it's just the top earners basically.
Oh, right.
I might start a YouTube channel because there is gold in them hills.
Sorry, this was football channels. Football channels.
Right. Let me explain. It was an article that was posted by I think it was an American gambling firm, right? Something that posted news around business, sports business and gambling, right? and they produce a list of all of the Premier League fan channels, the top ones in inverted commas.
Oh, is it what did it get sent on one of our groups?
It got shared everywhere.
Okay, right. I think I found it. If you want to have a look at it, we could dive into it.
Yeah.
Who's getting the cash in football media? Who's getting? Because it's certainly not me, and I'd like to know who is actually getting it. By the way, thank you very much, patrons, for supporting us. It really, really does help. Link is in the description.
Indeed. But yeah, it's just maybe I should start. I can't. That's just the thought of starting a YouTube channel, doing the work. It just inside of me a little bit goes, "Oh, you can't do this. This is rubbish. It's not what you want to do."
The man, the myth, Skullfuggery, who's one of our patrons, was in asked us a question in our mailbag this week, and he was asking about what's the wankiest thing that you have to do when it comes to YouTube, and I was saying it's asking to subscribe. He hates the comments thing, but he replied to me and he said I'm gonna have to dive into it. I'm gonna have to do something to try and to get the subscribers up. So it is what it is. But this is the article's in front of us now. Study finds Arsenal Fan TV and an absolute fortune. That's a funny headline, isn't it? Fortune from YouTube ad revenue.
An absolute fortune.
Congrats, boys.
Correct. Listen,
top 20.
What people don't understand, and what the industry doesn't understand, is that audience. It doesn't matter what platform it is. The audience is audience, whether it be on television, radio, podcast, or on YouTube. If you generate that many eyes, advertisers and brands out there will want to advertise and put adverts in front of those eyes. But there's this element of snobbery because these aren't trained media professionals. They're people who put stuff up online in this weird sort of socialist, communist YouTube world where you can put up pretty much whatever you like, and if people like it, you like, and they'll get it. There's algorithms that help certain producers like you, James, and there's people that are struggling out there that can't get the views. But these are just people making content, and if people want to watch that, then that's on them. But there is this element of snobbery about YouTube and about fan channels that why should they be earning that amount of money? And the reality is the equivalent amount of views to Arsenal Fan TV on Sky, on or whatever it means, whatever TV program serves ads, whatever TV station serves ads, will be paying so much more than this.
That's so true. That's so true.
So whether you like Arsenal
shut your mouth. Is that what you say, Flav?
Yeah, pretty much. Whether you like Arsenal fans.
Oh, sorry. First big reveal. It was a Satsuma. That's number one. It was a Satsuma. Sorry.
Good man.
Sorry.
I'm not watching your screen. I have no idea.
So it was a Satsuma. Sorry, I just picked the Satsuma to eat it, and then I realised that people were getting in the comments. So if you put Satsuma, then correct. There's another bit of fruit to my right that will be coming out, I presume, at some point. So if this is an interactive content, I don't know what is, which is another reason why there should be good ad revenue because it's engaged content, isn't it? But I'm looking at it now. There's didn't make the list, unfortunately. But we've got some. It's amazing, isn't it? It's all the names that we know though. Average monthly views you got. So the Villa View doing well in the top 20.
I would say, Jim, that those figures are probably conservative as well.
I think cards on the table. In I think September to December, because of the way that people advertise, there's a lot more money in it then. In those months, your CPM, as it's called, will go through the roof. Jack Mate used to always joke about that. He'd come back with loads of videos in December because the CPM's up, and then in January it falls like a stone. It does fall like a stone. Redmen up there, up the boys. Angry Rant Man in the top 10.
I don't know who that is.
Is Angry Rant Man an actual? Is that an actual? I thought that was just a flash in the pan. Came and went. Maybe not.
I don't know. Let's. What are we doing then?
Right, let's talk. Let's. Speaking of engagement.
Oh, is he a comedian? That guy.
Angry Rant Man. Yeah. He's the. Isn't he the guy? Who's like, there's no passion. There's no bub. The Chelsea fan.
He's an Indian guy.
Yeah. That was me. That was me gently doing an Indian accent because I was nervous because I didn't want it to come across. Yeah,
don't do that.
Sounds like I did it perfectly.
What we talking about this week, Jim?
We're talking about bloody loads of stuff. Football wise, bit low on that on the football chat, but Derby games this week, so we will be diving into that. Let's kick off with the comments, beginning with John Dewhurst. And do you know what? One thing I would say is well done in the comments. Great work. So many great comments that two things happened this week. First of all, with a lot of them, I actually read the first sentence. I went, yeah, that's good enough. Bang, into the running order. Because I trust you. Secondly, I didn't actually get to the end of the comments because there were so many and the running order was getting too long. Which is actually unfair to some people because some people will have commented early doors and won't be read.
So we start asking people just to post words then?
No, I think please don't do that. What I would say is I think the way I've got it is spot on because what I do is I click top comments, which of course was a great part of what was it called? What was that thing that you did on Ball Street? Doesn't matter. Anyway, we look at the top comments and I do it from that. Anyway, John Dewhurst kicks us off with just checking in, but make sure you check in. Actually, could everyone just check in because it's. Third lockdown. We're all sick of it. We're all miserable. We've all got to stick together.
No, I get it. I get everybody's miserable. We're all miserable. But what do you want to make your life even more difficult?
What by checking in?
Do you want more comments or not more comments?
If it's just checking in, that's fine. But don't just do a letter. That's just spamming.
If you've got, like I said before, if you check in, good. We want to know how you do, and hopefully everyone's all right. But then give us something as well.
Yeah.
give us something to talk about on top of that.
Yeah, just make sure you check in because I want to know that you make sure that you guys are all right, but keep it light.
Give us some stuff on top. That might be just checking in, and then ask a question. Not what did you? I've just met 20,000 people last week. Not that I'm interested in that sort of stuff. Anyway, go on, crack on, Jim, crack on.
Right, quotes of the pod, and we kick off with actually our number one. Our number one comment of the week. So well done, everyone, for liking the comments that you like. So make sure you read them all and like the ones you like. Because with 153 likes this week, it's Angus Simpson with this comment. He says, quote the pod, under the radar, quote the pod. Scott Parker, God bless him. He's like a little action figure. I think that was me. I don't remember. No, right.
Yeah, I would never say that.
Yeah, well, I wonder who said this next one with 91 likes. Isaiah Ali, quote the pod. I often masturbate while reading the comments. It could have been me. You never know. So go back and check last week. Last week's podcast, honestly, is the funniest one we've done. I think it's the funniest one we've done. I was crying, literally crying. Like, honestly, it was mental. So if you checked it out, go check it out. Jackson Rugg quoted the pod. Just pop down the local clinic, spunk in a cup, get yourself £100. Football podcast.
I looked up. It's not 100. Actually, I think we was aiming this at one of our patrons, wasn't he?
Bobby Turner, Bobby Turner.
Bobby Turner. It's more like 25 quid, which is still fair enough. Right?
Actually,
like 25 quid, or just in a sock, or 25 quid. In a 25 quid, or in a sock, right? Or if you're disgusting, just on the floor. But whatever it is, choose the 25 quid, and you could make a woman out there and a couple very, very, very happy. What I don't get is people go, "Oh, I don't want sons out there, do I? I don't children's out there. Mine, they're not yours. You've just done it for 25 quid. That doesn't automatically make them your children. Don't worry about it.
I mean, technically they are your children, aren't they? But if you're that flippant to give it, and well,
I would definitely go down there, monk in a cup, and then never think about the kids ever again.
Why was monk more vulgar than spunk just then? That's weird. Weird chemical reaction I had there. Bobby Turner, give us an update on that if you are, because you did sign up.
He did? Did he sign up to go down there?
Signed up. He says signed up, but struggled to get a place. Struggled to get a pace, he's written. I don't know if that's a typo or not. couldn't get it going.
I think he lives in the north, so maybe there's not, you can basically collect it off the floor up in the north.
Right. To be fair, if they came back when they were 20 and we could go for a pint. Rob, that is the saddest thing I've ever read. That is the saddest thing I've ever read, Rob. I love you so much. That is the saddest thing I've ever read. Oh, it's not all bad. It's not all bad. He might find me when I'm 20. We'll have an emotional couple of minutes and then we're going to have a pint together.
Let me tell you about how you was conceived.
Yeah. I always thought about you. Did you? Anyway, right.
I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you. I missed so much, but I've got time to catch up now, boy.
Yeah. Jake Hadisti quoted the pod. If you like crying children, this is the pod for you.
Indeed.
Karen Kulkarni, quoted the pod. Remember the cretin you used to be. That's definitely you. That's you talking about Man United, I think. Man United fans. Yeah. Still cretins? Are they still cretins?
Yeah, they're cretins as long as they stop. They're top of the league. They're flying, aren't they? Beat Fulham as well.
Okay. Jay Tevo. Comment. These are comments of the week now, not quotes of the week. Comments of the week, very different. Jay Tevo. This got 75 likes. I feel like I've got to read it out. Sister dies. Flav says, think on the positive side. One less present to buy for Christmas. Don't know why that got 75 likes. Why did that get 75 likes? We've got some dark humour in the comments section.
But I don't think I'd ever... I mean, I might say something like that, but...
Yeah. Silver lining. There is always a silver lining. There is always a silver lining. Right. Big news, by the way. Big news. You know, the podcast is growing. You know, the views are going up. And Flav put out a very serious question last week to Smither D. Smither D, who's been gracing us in the Derby game section of recent weeks. And he had a great one last week. And so Flav asked the question in the podcast, Do you watch the podcast? Simple podcast. Are you a hidden slug? And Smith commented. He said, "Of course I watch the pod, Flav. Sometimes."
I don't hate that. No. I don't hate that because this is if I was watching this podcast, I'd only watch it sometimes. If I wasn't involved. I mean, I'm involved and I don't watch it. Yeah. Make sure you subscribe, guys. Make sure you subscribe. But what I did like was the replies in this one. So 34 likes on that. Of course I watch the pod, Flav, sometimes. McSlash said, and this is an important question because there's the first layer, do you watch the podcast? But then there's this very important second question. McSlash says, okay, but what have you won? What's
he won? I mean, it's great he watches it sometimes, but what have you won, Smith? That's the important. I
know something Smith didn't win. That was a Fan League Cup when we knocked out Palmer's, didn't we? Yeah. I know that. Yeah. I know that. If you're watching Smith, sorry if you're still a little bit annoyed by that. Yeah. My tactical genius. Yeah. Just, I was managing that day. And by managing, I say, give the ball to the ringers. Yeah.
We had a player called Romario. I'm still not sure he wasn't the son of Romario. Anyway, Smith, so let us know, what have you won? With all, that's importantly, that's what you got wrong here, McSlash. You got to say before that, okay, fair enough. But what have you won? With respect, what have you won?
Yeah.
And Nathan Woppett says Smithy's a slug. But thank you, Smith, for getting into the comment section.
Yeah. Anyone who wants to drop a comment down below and tell us what you've won, that'd be good. Like nothing. Like I don't want like reams and reams of your answers about what you've won. Just give us the big one. In your life. This podcast is drifting into basically just a meeting to create a running order for next week's podcast. What are we doing? We want to know. The fact remains, I want to know what you've won in the comments below. It has to be significant. It can't be like I won a tiddlywink competition when I was 4 down the local fucking town hall or something. Well, actually, the real test here, Flav, is can you say something that you won that would seem to be insignificant to others, but actually Flav totally respects. That's the holy grail. I mean, I'd love to be in that position. Yeah. But if someone's like won something big, like I won a boat once, I want to know. I want to know. I want a boat. Yeah, what's the best thing you've won? Yeah, like on a raffle. Not like, I achieved this, I got level whatever. No, what did you just like win in a raffle? Do you know what I won? I've got one. So I used to play for a cricket club that was sponsored by Fetcham Tandoori. Shout out Fetcham Tandoori. There's a lad I used to play cricket with who's a fan of the Fighting Cock. Actually, last time I saw him was at a live show for the Fighting Cock, and his name's Eddie Ellis. And I know he listens to this podcast sometimes, so Ed knows. I used to play cricket with him, and anyway, we were sponsored by Fetcham Tandoori, up the lads. And was it good? Was it good tandoori? Solid, yeah, it's solid. And I, in a raffle, there was a lad that I used to go and have a curry with all the time, and he was like one of the main guys at Leatherhead's son. And so we would go there, and we'd always get 50% off because we like play for the club and all that stuff. Anyway, we then we won a raffle, or he won a raffle for 50% off a curry at the Fetcham Tandoori. So you already got 50% off? We already had 50% off. So we went in there and we said, we've got this voucher. So we got that 50% off, 50% off. So we got it for 25%.
which is amazing. Which is mental.
What? I mean, what I was going to ask you a question. Was you always respectful to the staff? But that isn't respectful, is it? Just isn't it enough to get half off already?
Do you know what? Actually, they had a son who used to get bullied quite a lot, and I always looked out for him. So I was very kind to the staff.
So did the bullying stop after you started looking after him?
Yeah, because I think people were intimidated.
Speaking about respect, and just to bring this back to football a little bit.
Yeah, good luck.
What's remember like the big respect the ref campaign, which is important because like refs are getting beaten up and that on Sunday League and stuff.
Yeah, that's too far, isn't it? That's what you want. It's like you want a little insult, not big stuff like that.
Yeah, don't want to attack them, but just emotionally break them down so that they give you more decisions than the other team.
Yep.
You proud of yourself, Jim?
Proud of what I achieved in my football career? Yes. If that's what you're asking.
That's what I'm asking.
Here's a question for you about football. Popped in my head the other day. Oh, no. I can't remember why it popped in my head. It came up on the stream, sorry. What player do you just love the most? What position and player do you love the most? Because me, I love that centre midfielder who just pops it about. Just goes, yeah, I'll have it. No, just gives it. See what I was trying to do there? And it gives it again. Yeah, give it a bit. Yes. I'll have it. Off you have it. But not for too long. Bring it back. Yeah, that's it. I've got it. There you go. Off you go. Are you feeling a bit under pressure with the ball? Give it here. That guy.
Like Højbjerg.
Like Thiago.
Or Thiago. It depends on the player. I'm into defensive midfielders at the moment just because of Højbjerg. I was so surprised at how good he's been at Tottenham that I've got a big thing for defensive midfielders. Like I think about Makelele and just think, whoa. But I've got another question for you, right?
Wasn't ready for that.
Look at him, just fuck me. I would love to rattle through that.
He wins it and gives it simple.
I'd love to rattle through Makelele as he explained Mourinho's tactics to me in my ear.
Yeah. Do you know what makes me slightly harder for Højbjerg is the fact that he wears number 5. Isn't it weird, things like that? I've got time for a sexy number. Just give me 5 and let me do this.
He's no nonsense, is he?
5's a harder number. It's a harder number, isn't it? 5's probably the hardest of all the numbers, I would say.
When you're playing Sunday League and someone's got 5 on, you think, don't have to worry about him. Yeah. Doesn't matter what he can do as a human being, but you're looking at the piece of cotton on his back that says 5 and you dismiss him as a footballer.
Yeah, but you'll also I'll probably be careful with him because you could probably crush me with one hand.
Indeed. Yeah.
So DMs, you like a DM, do you?
I do. I was thinking about Son the other day. Son.
Rob Turner says 3's harder than 5. Bollocks. That's just not true. I've been really harsh on Rob today. Sorry, Rob. Love you.
Yeah, but obviously 5s haven't got like a defined place either. Like 5's defensive midfielder, but you also see 5s as centre backs as well. You've seen a 5 and a 6 in the centre back and a 4 in defensive midfield.
Valentino's saying 4's the hardest number.
4. It's like, yeah, I get it. You got to impress more when you wear shit numbers. Like, who's the best player who wears the worst number?
Best player of the worst number.
Yeah,
I mean Zidane had 5, didn't he? Didn't Zidane wear 5?
Did he?
Am I talking to rubbish there? Where's that come from? I feel like he did have number 5, something like that.
I thought he had 10. It's definitely for France he wore 10.
I feel like at Madrid he wore something like 5.
Fill a little bit, Jim. Be professional. I'll find out for you.
Okay. Well, I'll read a few more comments then. Yeah.
Can I just make a point about Son? So I'm listening about it, right? I'm thinking about Son, rather. I'm driving along. I'm thinking about him and Son. I often do because he's such a nice guy, isn't he? Very smiley.
Gorgeous.
Anyway, and he's fantastic. But if he doesn't play well for a couple of games, Spurs fans go, oh, he's not playing well. He's out of form. Like 4 weeks ago, he scored a screamer. In the last year, he scored like 3 world-class goals, right? And I'm just thinking, players like him set such a high bar for themselves. Like, I was thinking, like, we raved about, and I did as well, raved about Bergwijn's performance against Sheffield United, and Son was pretty much anonymous for the whole game. And I thought, well, Bergwijn is all right. we were critical of Son. Son is capable of so much more than Bergwijn. But he has a couple of games and you just sort of dismiss it. And I just wonder, like...
Did he hit the post as well?
Son did, yeah. Not in that game. The game before.
Oh, sorry.
But, I don't know. Just popped into my head.
Yeah, I mean, his XG is like, or his performance against his XG is absolutely ridiculous this season. So he's allowed 1 or 2 games. That's the problem. Is you set a watermark, don't you? That's football. Yeah. That's football full stop.
A benchmark.
That's it. As soon as you hit that height, then you've got to do that forevermore. It's tricky.
Did wear 5. Did wear 5 for.
Did. I was right. Good.
21 for Juve.
Daniel Galloway, I like this. Aruna Kone wore number 2 as a striker at Wigan. That is good. Good effort. Here's another comment for the OG Slugs. David Roper. Whatever happened to the farmer bloke who used to watch the pod in his tractor? The reason I wanted to read that out was I think we could do with that escapism. So, tractor man, farmer man. I think he was a groundsman at a golf club. If you could just give us that, just help us get away from all of this, then please leave your comment down below. Right, football chat, Flav, football chat.
Good.
Okay. I stumbled across a calm take in the comments. Reece Connolly. This might be a bit mad, but what is Bruno Fernandes actually excellent at? I understand the stats and stuff, but I just don't see any outstanding attributes. I get this. I understand. His output is outrageous, and thus he is a wonderful and brilliant footballer. However, I do watch him and I go, it's the intangibles of being in the right place at the right time or being involved at the right time. It's an attitude thing. But he gives away the ball quite often, unnecessarily so at times.
Yeah, but
just in and out of games a little bit at times.
There's to create. He's best to do things that most players can't. Yeah. You just have to look at how Man United perform without him to know how important he is to the team. And, what you're doing there, I think, mate, I don't want to dig you out because you have taken your time to comment, but you're showing a distinct lack of understanding of the game.
No, I'm with Reece on this one. I kind of...
You're also showing a lack of understanding of the game. And you have an entire channel, 70,000 subscribers. We expect you to know better.
Yeah, I think the point here, Flav, is you've got to be brave sometimes and put yourself out there. Yes, obviously the obvious take. This isn't got... Hang on, let me just scroll up. No, calm takes, not obvious takes. Calm takes. The calm take is that he doesn't run the game sometimes. It's not as much as... Do you know what I mean? That utter flawless dominance. It from minute 1 to minute 90. I don't think you don't see that with him as much as you do with other players. Maybe it's an aesthetic thing. He
single-handedly transferred the form of Manchester United. Since he signed, they have been flying. I think they're 3rd in terms of points amassed.
I get it.
When they signed, they were 11th.
Yeah, I mean it's a great coincidence. I agree. A lot of penalties. Bruno Fernandes says Jay Barlow. Jay Barlow also makes a great point. He goes, thing is with Bruno, what has he won? He hasn't actually won anything.
Well, he's probably going to win the Premier League this year. But
they're not going to win it, are they? They're not going to win it.
What? Why not?
Because it's just not. They're just not. Not there yet. I'm just not there yet.
Yeah, but we were like that with Leicester and they won the league.
Leicester could win it.
Yeah, Leicester could win it. They're looking really good.
Can you believe
Tottenham could win it?
Tottenham could win it. Tottenham could win it, Flav. If they
can't win
could they win it? They could win it. But but they could win it, is what I'm saying.
Win it. I mean, they could, but they won't.
Is this... How would you describe... we go, this is the worst title race. Every March. So get ready for this, guys. People always go, this is the worst title race ever. Right. They normally... Or is this the worst Premier League ever? It's when people are running out of stuff to talk about. If you were to describe this Premier League season in terms of the title race, fantastic. As in worst, best, describe it.
The best Premier League season we've ever had.
I would say it's the messiest.
Yeah,
this is the messiest title race we've ever had, which is great. I agree.
Order. What do you want? Formula One? If you like fucking order, go and watch Formula One instead of football. The same teams win every year, or they're second. If you want to see that, an utter dominance of 3 or 4 teams, we've seen that. For 10, 15 years of the Premier League season, we saw a top 4 that didn't change. That isn't good. That's bad for entertainment. That's bad for the sport. It's much better to have a competitive league. It's much better from fans of all clubs who can start the season and go, maybe this is our year. That's what football should be about. Not the ones with the most money get the most. And and it will end up, when you look at who's top, Manchester United, Man City, it's still the same. But it could be that while Manchester City are playing fantastic football, that Leicester do win the league, or Tottenham might go a run. Anyone who goes on a run similar to Manchester United will find themselves top of the league.
Here's a question, Flav, for you. If we run through these, if they win the league, what will be the general consensus? Or for you emotionally, okay?
If who win the league?
So I was just looking at the names there. I was going to run through them. So, for example, if Spurs won the league, that's a shut your mouth champion. Shut your mouth. That is a shut your mouth champion. If you win that is it. Stop talking to me. Shut your mouth. If you win that one.
I mean, if we did. Yeah, but just quickly on it.
Did that excite you? Did that excite you when I said that? On the way I spoke there, I swear I could hear something.
I mean, I've been there close a couple of times. I've been there with the Champions League a couple of times. I've learned.
You've never climaxed.
Never. Yeah, it's all like I'm still got blue balls, haven't I, for some sort of championship?
Blue trophy balls you've got.
Yeah, big old. Yeah. But it's.
But what is that? Answer the question. What is, in a sentence? What is your reaction to Tottenham won the league this year? What does it go down for you? What's your sentence?
Well, football wise, it's the greatest season that we've ever had, ever.
That's not what I'm asking you. Spurs win the league.
It's like everyone can get fucked.
That's what I want. Give me the passion.
I'm not recording a single bit of media ever again.
Yeah.
We can't top this. You have to find someone else to do this podcast.
Right.
I'm shutting the fighting cock down. And
Rob Turner says this: if Spurs win the league, it goes down as Mourinho's title, not. And I'm going to read between the lines here. By that he means it's Mourinho's title, not Spurs's.
I mean, it's the same. I agree with him. Every club, like this thing is like if fans like hanker after what their club does. Oh, look at us, amazing. Every club is just an image of whatever manager takes over them, or in Chelsea's case, their owner. Like I've said this before in this podcast and elsewhere, is like fans who dig other fans, and we all do it, it's a part of it, but you can take no responsibility for how good your team is. It's nothing to do with you. You have contributed zero to how any success that your club has. You should enjoy it. Give other people stick. And by the same token, when you're a Bolton Wanderers fan, it's not your fault. People give you stick and say, look at your shit. What could I do about it? I'm just following my club. Leave me alone. And this is and this is the thing. So it's like when I'm digging Leeds out and Bielsa, I'm not digging Leeds out. I'm digging out the way people react to Leeds and Bielsa, because it's Bielsa's football club. At the moment, with Jose Mourinho's football club, that's why there is such a divide in Tottenham Hotspur fan base that some people just can't abide him, and other people just think, he's our best chance of winning something. So, yeah, you're right. Every club has an image of whatever manager is. With Liverpool, without Klopp, they wouldn't have done what they've done, but they did. So you're just ambling around. Most fans are ambling around, hoping that everything pulls into place by some stroke of luck. But massive stroke of luck and a bit of sort of ingenuity from people that own in their football club, and hoping it all fits together. Hopefully, this will be us. That's it. That's football in a nutshell. You're hoping it all just clicks into gear. You were hoping that Warburton would sort QPR. It hasn't.
And it is.
You did win, didn't you? But the point is, before you go on to, we should talk a little bit about it. But before you do it, is it'll be the next manager. And if they don't do it, it'll be the next manager. Because that's all you've got, as all fans have got. Hopefully the next manager will do it for us. Hopefully next season. And then when you win it, it's like, oh, shit, I hope we can maintain that. And if you can't, you got to deal with it.
You never win is essentially what you're saying here.
It's just a never-ending existential crisis, football. And there is never an end. And there is no... And the beginning was a long, long time ago. This will never end.
Yeah.
And you know what's really sad about it, Jim, while I finish? It will end when the money stops. And then we'll have to go back to the shit football we used to watch in the 80s.
I think this pod's supposed to be a bit of escapism for people, Flav. It's really brought it down. Just to answer...
where it came from.
Yeah. So in a sentence,
Don't bother.
Don't bother. I was going to say, as I'll answer my own question. Manchester United, if they win it, you go, how in me personally, I've been out, how have they won that? Manchester City win it, you go, that why bother dreaming, because the cream rises to the top. If Leicester City win it, shut your mouth. That's another shut your mouth. I say, yes, it can be done. If Liverpool win it again, they go, wow. I would go, wow, they've done it with all the problems. Spurs win it, shut your mouth. If Everton win it, I bloody love that.
If Everton win, they're 2 games in hand. They're 2 points off top.
Come on, Everton.
Listen, after 19 games, that's what you want from a football season. I made that comment elsewhere, and someone put things. I understand you like the game. I understand you like the way the Premier League has gone thus far, but you can't say this is the best Premier League season ever, because COVID has cost us so much, and so many people have died of COVID, so it can't be the best ever. It's got nothing to do with that at all. It's to do with just the football. I looked at his bio, Liverpool fan. You're bitter because Liverpool's shit, and you're throwing COVID and all the people that are dying as a part of the reason why Liverpool. I know what you're doing.
Rattled.
Right?
Rattled.
That's not what I was talking about. I'm rattled by stupidity.
No, not you, rattled. I'm saying this guy's rattled.
He's not rattled. He's just being him, innit? He's
wrong.
Being like, oh, my football club isn't doing well. It can't be down to the football club. It can't be down to, maybe the players are getting injured at Liverpool because they're working them too hard. Maybe now the drugs don't work. They just make you worse. And I know we won't win the Premier League again because all that. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying 28 out of 35 players are asthmatic at Liverpool. Take from that what you will.
I heard a story about a guy who walked past the changing rooms and he said,
"What, his dong out, was it? Was his dong out?"
No, he said, what's with all the dry ice? And someone said, what dry ice? Man United, which Flav tried to bring to an end last week, but still going strong, it seems. Isaac Sutty, as a United fan and fan of the podcast, I'm now a worm as well as a slug. Can't catch a break. 31 likes on that. And Joe Ball's, well, he can't catch a break, but it gets even worse for Joe Ball, who said this: as a Southern Sir Alex saying United fan, I'm now a little slugworm who needs to be culled. Your words have consequences, Flav. You need to think about what you say.
Sorry.
But unfortunately, Manglu United is over. That will come to an end shortly once we really get the wheels in motion. Of course, with Sheffield United, we're getting behind now. Deep down, we couldn't really take the handbrake off because they were playing Spurs. But now we dive into it full force. Up the blades.
Yeah. And it's not about like they've let this will be the great escape. Forget the West Brom, forget the film. This will be the great escape. If they get out of this, when they get out of this.
Even with COVID going on?
All of it. Everything. Nothing will compare to this. This will be better than Leicester winning the league.
Oof.
And it'll all be down to us.
Yeah.
And the Slugs.
So yeah, good vibes only, please, for Sheffield United as we offer some glue their way. It's now time for Derby games. There's one or two Derby games this week. Derby games in partnership with Ben Spanton Walker, who's at the forefront of Derby
Jim,
games.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do when, because this is your big tweet each week now, isn't it? The amount of engagement. This is your big tweet. What are we going to do when this bit dries up?
Rattled. What am I going to do when this bit dries up? I don't think it ever will with the likes of Ben Spanton Walker.
Go on then.
By our side. So I'm now renaming this the Derby games in partnership with Ben Spanton Walker, because Ben, who you might know, Ben, he used to play Ben in EastEnders. Is it Ben in EastEnders?
He did.
Famously cried when Spurs lost that game. He
I don't remember that.
That was the rumour. There was a rumour that he was the guy who cried.
Oh yeah, at school. On telly.
Yeah.
He was the one that cried and went around.
Anyway, he's always, every single week, he's on fire in the Derby games tweet. So yeah. And here he is again. Obviously, a lot of FA Cup games this weekend. There is one Premier League game Aston Villa versus, I want to say Newcastle. Or Southampton, maybe? Newcastle, I'm pretty sure it's Newcastle. And then a load of FA Cup games, including Liverpool versus Manchester United, once again. But there are 1 or 2 derby games, so we will dive into them now. Ben Spancer-Walker, Brighton versus Blackpool. The FA Cup 4th round is the all residents should be walking around with a spoon just in case they see a seagull in a tree derby.
Yeah, this is the idea that there aren't seagulls that can't sit in trees. It's impossible. You've never seen one.
More on that later.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
I got another picture. Someone else sent.
Someone sent a picture? I'm not getting pictures.
No, it was Lewis, James and Flav community page. He sent me a picture, but I think it was photoshopped. I think he photoshopped it.
Jack Johnson, the famous folk singer. On a postcard. It's that one.
Shit, wasn't it? It was so fucking insipid bullshit.
Fam's got that about songs. When songs don't go anywhere.
Yeah. Where's the crescendo? What make me feel something?
Yeah. Brentford versus Leicester City is the ridiculously good transfer policy derby. Wesley Fofana is so good. So good.
He's good. He is good.
They get it right, don't they? Even like Albrighton, he's just good stock, and he's good lad. Puts the ball in the right area.
He wasn't even playing. He's played himself back into that team.
Madness.
Harvey Barnes is mustard. How he doesn't get near. He's not in. It's like, I'm pretty sure. I've looked this up. I know I'm right. But Harvey Barnes doesn't get a sniff at England, right?
He was in the last squad, wasn't he?
Was he?
I think so.
He has played 1 game. He should be. He should. Why are the people? How's it got to 23? When only now he's sort of getting a sniff around the England team.
Mate, it's the depth. The depth that England have got is unbelievable. Maddison can't get in the squad. It's crazy.
I don't like him.
You don't like it? Do you know that I was intrigued to know how people feel about James Maddison, because I like what he's saying, but there's a twinkle in his eye that feels a little bit arrogant. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think? You think he's a bit arrogant, do you? I suppose you have to be arrogant.
I kind of like him, though.
You have to be arrogant to play football at that level. You've got to believe in yourself, but you don't have to carry yourself like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's kind of the ones like, if you're mate, you think, he's a bit of a prick, but we've known him a long time. So
yeah. We've got a mate who's like he's a dickhead, but he's our dickhead.
Yeah, so it's one of them ones, isn't it? It's like, I know he rates himself highly, but deep down he's a nice geezer.
Yeah, I quite like
one
him.
of them.
I quite like him.
I mean, I don't have him at Spurs, but I'm not sure
he'd be great for you at Spurs. He is a baller. That Leicester, in terms of like just gently maturing and ripening, that Leicester City squad is really, really good. The only problem they've got is once Vardy goes. But I reckon Vardy will play till he's like 42, like Steve Claridge.
Does Brendan Rodgers get enough credit?
Does he get enough credit? Yeah, I think he gets a right amount of credit. Do you know what I was thinking about him? He will be Chelsea manager, won't he? At some point.
He'll
guaranteed.
That'll be that'll be the job. Like, I don't. Why say that? Right? I was about to say I don't think he'd leave Leicester now to join Chelsea, but he left Celtic basically just said, Leicester came and went, you know what, fuck off. Like, there were 10 games into the season, just went, like, when the opportunity's there, he moves on. Could you see a world where Chelsea sack Lampard and offer Brendan Rodgers a job? Because money's not an option for them, so they can buy him out, no problem. Do you see a world where he turns them down? Because he should, because Leicester could win the league, legitimately win the league this year. They're that good.
And I'm really excited by this because this is a title. Thank you. I would say, if I'm Brendan Rodgers, I don't think you take the job at Chelsea. No way right now, and I'll tell you why. Because say he does that, and you could understand that. I guess they got more title pedigree, just about. But I mean, Leicester won it that year, but it was a bit of an anomaly. But he takes that job. Say he takes that job in the summer. He then, the same thing that happens to every single Chelsea manager happens to him, and then he's out of a job within a year. Whereas if he turns it down, his stock and the stock of this Leicester City squad that he's built gets better over the next 2 years. And he still hasn't kind of, shot his load in terms of taking that job.
I understand. And what the points you make, James, are completely reasonable. But regardless of what Leicester has done and what he's created here, if Chelsea come calling, given the links he has with the club already, that squad.
Do you think he just goes? Do you think he just goes, sorry, but like he did with Celtic?
I think it's different with Celtic because Celtic it's the SPL. It's different. There was no competition. He won 3 trebles on the bounce. It was just nothing for him to do. So I understand why he wanted a new challenge. And Leicester was perfect for him because of it. They were in transition. They had a really good squad, and he got the best out of them. And they've got them playing great football. Like people talk about their Tottenham's counter attacking. Their counter attack's just as good. So. And there's much more to leave now than he did when he was at Celtic. But
is it a jump up though? Squad to squad. I mean, I guess ceiling to ceiling, it's a jump up, right?
But the size of the club, Champions League football, his name goes through the roof. Like Leicester, outside of the UK or outside of England, will always be Leicester City, regardless of what they do. Chelsea have established as a global brand. The fan base is huge. It's massive. I'm just saying it's a big ask for someone like Brendan Rodgers, who is
no way, mate. I just don't think. Like, I get what you're saying as well, but it depends what your perspective is of Chelsea. And so you're right in the sense that if you're Brendan Rodgers, and Brendan Rodgers' perspective of this is that if you think he went to Celtic, obviously ginormous club, but in a league that means that you're going to struggle in Europe, and not one of the top 5 leagues. The jump to Leicester was a solid little jump, right? So he's now at Leicester. He's done well at Leicester. He's taken Leicester from where he was with potential to a team that is in the title race. The jump up from Leicester, if you take in absolutely everything, and by everything I mean stadium, the fans, the I guess the external pressure, be it a good thing or a bad point, be it the money that you've got to spend on players, the squad that you have there and now, the age of that squad there and now, and the ability to that maybe go up to the next notch, which is Champions League, and having a squad that's good enough for the Champions League in terms of rotation, but also having a team that's definitely going to get close to the top 4 again. When you put those two together, I think it's the most minuscule jump. But it's the most minuscule jump. Yeah, I know what you mean. But it's the most minuscule jump for zero job security.
But he'll always get a job. If he left Leicester now...
But he'll never get as good a job. You cannot leave Leicester. You cannot leave Leicester. Because I say, in 18 months' time, he won't have a job. This is Frank Lampard. This is like, those other managers, Frank is a Chelsea man. Like, it's bollocks. Brendan will be the same.
I think you're asking a lot of him. I think it may be that they leave. I think if he gets to the end of the season and the job's there, I definitely think he takes it. And then it's hard to know. It's hard to know. But based on how he's behaved previously, I think he feels like he's got a lot to prove at being able to manage a big club in the Premier League again, because he probably feels a little bit hard done by what happened at Liverpool. They had the Suarez situation to deal with. I think that opportunity comes. It's hard to turn down.
Well, I guess there's the next question. Does that opportunity come again? I think it does.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah.
Okay, so then he's fine then, isn't he? Because it's not like I've only got 3 years left of my career. He's got 20 years.
47 years old. So he cannot lose. Absolutely cannot lose. If he stays at Leicester, people see a quality in him that he doesn't already have. So people know he's a great manager, know he can play great football. He's great at motivating young players. He gets teams playing as a unit. He's coaching team and he's scouting team, bringing, if that is who brought in the players that he's got. If he carries that with him, that's all there. If he's then got loyalty on top of that, if he turns down a job like Chelsea and at the end of the season or the season after that, when the next manager is sacked from Chelsea, that's better for his legacy for sure. That's the sensible thing to do. But does he do it if it's offered to him now? And it'd be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see. I wouldn't blame him if he did it. Like, you're right now in terms of what's on paper. Leicester are a much better team. But look at what he took Leicester from and to using a good squad. Arguably, what he has at Chelsea, is a magnificent squad in potentially.
Yeah.
The difference, though, is that he had a bunch of young lads that were receptive to his ideas. His Thiago Silva, his Werner, who's heard, Kai Havertz. Like, how are they going to react to his way of being? Like,
that's it. I don't think it's worth it, man.
We don't know. But it's interesting what you say. Like, if you took imagine if you took all of the Leicester City players, and imagine there were two versions of the Leicester City players, and you put them all in the Chelsea shirt. Regardless of, there'd be no difference between the two. People would rate the Chelsea team better, even if it was identical, just because of the way it's that club is seen around the world compared to Leicester. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, a joy it highlights as well is how your reputation could grow or shrink, depending on that as well. Like, look at Arsenal a couple of weeks ago. They were allowed, they were terrible footballers, all of them. And Chelsea at the moment are, it's a similar kind of thing because they're struggling for a bit of confidence. Yeah.
Red B just put it in the comments. Would be how much Rodgers would love to finish above Liverpool with Leicester.
Yeah, I mean that he would. Of course he would love that. I just if Chelsea sack Lampard before the season's over, that looks like a pretty soulless club to me. If you do that,
he doesn't care about that though, does he? He's just spent how much money has he spent? 150 million? Is it maybe more? He doesn't care about house. I mean, he's sold it so ages ago. If you think of it like that,
I know. But if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be like, I'd be like, wow, we are really soulless here because there's one.
It's interesting what you said there, Jin, because they if you listen to Rory and I listened to something that Charlie Skill and his mate was on, and loads of Chelsea fans don't want him to go. They're happy to ride this season out. They're happy to let Lampard learn on the job. They feel a connection to him that they haven't with other managers.
I completely respect that, man. That is all it's about. That's what I mean. That's what I was saying about Arteta a while back. Is that you sometimes you can't trust the results. You have to trust the person. You've got to invest in the person. And the likes of Arteta at Arsenal.
Arteta and Lampard's different. Arteta's just a bloke who, at the tail end of his career, played for Arsenal a bit.
No, that's not true. No, okay, he's not. Yeah, he's not top three, but top three is
tail end. To be fair, sorry,
top threes. But top three greatest players. Them being the greatest players, not as one thing. You understanding what their substance is. Do you know what I mean? Like being that captain, that leader. That's important. And actually, I massively respect Chelsea fans who can see that. It's the same thing for Arsenal, is that you go, it's not always the results. It's not always the playing squad. And it's not always the manager.
I think you can... you can take something about the calibre of a fan by how patient they are with the situation they find themselves in. The ones that are the most reactionary are generally the ones that know least about supporting the football club.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that and this isn't a dig at fans from other countries and whatnot, but if you've been following, if you're lucky enough to live close to your club so you can go and watch and play, and if you've been doing that for 20, 30 years before the advent and explosion of the Premier League even, then you realise that all of it's a process and an up and down, and that poor performances and poor management and spells of form that could go on for 6 months are momentary, and if you can ride them out, then you should, because your connection to that manager or the club will be stronger for it. But the way football is now, and the way the game's presented, that even owners of the football club are trigger happy. Like even Daniel Levy, to a certain degree, gives managers less time than the owners before him did, and because of the way the game is now, and fans are the worst for it. And I get caught in that trap as well. Like if Spurs lose under Mourinho, I'm like, fucking hate this. I hate it. It's one game, but because of the style of play, you hate it. You win one, and you're like, I feel great. We've got to find a way of becoming more zen with football, and it is what it is. Like you, Jim, like you're dealing with week in, week out sort of upset and disappointment. It's must.
Do you know what though? I would for the last 15, 20 years, I would completely agree with what you're saying. But I feel like we are getting there. If you look, there was only 2 managers who lost their job last year, and it was Pearson and it was Bilic at West Brom. That's not bad at all. Good. So I actually think we're getting there. And sometimes I look at, when I think of like America, I think of it being quite cutthroat, ruthless. But if you look at American sport a lot of the time, coaches there seem to get quite a long period of time because there's an understanding of the wider aspect of it. Now, like, it's a completely different setup in terms of the draft and all that stuff. But I do actually think that football fans are being given a lot more information or able to get a lot more information these days. And so you are seeing that a lot more. Or maybe it's the economics of it, the pandemic, all those things. But I actually think clubs are becoming more patient. Or maybe they're better run. Maybe just better run.
I was sitting on the toilet like earlier today.
Go on.
And I literally just popped in. I wonder if football was better back in the day, because there'll be people watching this who wouldn't like, football's everywhere. It's constantly, there's YouTube channels dedicated to it, like yours, Jim. It's just constantly being put out there, which isn't a bad thing. It's just very different. Like when I was a kid, football would be reserved to, maybe your game would be on Sunday on Sky Sports when it came out. Maybe it wouldn't. At most, you'd get 3 games a weekend. And then football was just going to the game, watching it, losing, winning, going to the pub, coming home. Other than that, apart from reading the papers in the morning, you wouldn't think about it. But now it's like a constant flow. And if you want to escape, it's really difficult. It's really difficult. Like, if Spurs are shit, it's even harder for me because I'm producing 4 podcasts a week about it. Like, I'm a part of it as well. I'm not sure it's not saying it's worse. It's just different. It used to be a pastime. Now it's an obsession for most people.
Yes, man. Just to be clear, Chris Mears asking, was that sit down wee?
No, it's poo.
Cool. Good chat. I like that. Let's run through the Derby games. There's a title. Come on, get in there, lads. Wherever you are.
Honestly, that's good. That's ahead of the curve as well, mate. That is.
Yeah.
Brendan Rodgers from Chelsea. That would honestly, you get a
chance. We've got a chance. Do you know what I would say? Wherever you are right now, guys, if you're a proper slug, you just celebrate. I want a pumped fist wherever you are. It's about the little wins. We've got ourselves a title. Congratulations. Ellis J. Carr, Bournemouth versus Crawley is the first part of our names is what babies do. Derby, Crawl versus the Bourne.
Very good.
Yep. And Jaffin community page, Fulham versus Burnley is the unlikely famous supporters derby. Snoop Dogg is a diehard Burnley fan. Diehard. And the Pope, it has a season ticket at Craven Cottage. Is that true? Surely not.
No.
Stan says Barnsley versus Norwich is the Yo-Yo Club derby. Very true. Fast Sports says Fulham Burnley is the did you know that we've played in the Europa League derby? Marco says Villa Newcastle is the derby of Steves. You've got Bruce, Watson, and Stone. Stone was a coach for Newcastle. And Dan, Millwall versus Bristol City is the forever mid-table championship derby. Okay, football is over. That's the end of the football. Oh no, it's that now, isn't it? It's that one. Okay, right. Lots going on now. Let's go now. It's about to kick off. Leakley Weeds. Got a Leakley Weeds this week from M. Leakley Weeds, few updates. So this is the guy who's doing a teaching placement at a school in Leeds. He says this.
Okay.
Leakley Weeds, few updates from my placement school. Before Christmas, I saw a child in another class wearing a Man United jacket. Thought nothing of it at the time until I saw the same child a few days later wearing a Leeds United shirt. Suffice to say, that child would receive the harshest of sanctions for this unacceptable behaviour. Also, my tea mug was accidentally broken by a child, which forced me to use a Leeds mug. I've never felt so degraded in my life, much to the amusement of my Leeds supporting mentor. Keep up the sterling work, my slugs. Interesting that, isn't it? The sort of chemical reaction to your rivals. And I'm pleased he's keeping an eye on that. You cannot be wearing a Man United kit and then a Leeds kit.
I mean, as a kid, is that all right? Because I remember... So, I mean, did you have I had lots of European kits when I was a kid. My
different countries different. That's fine. That's fine.
Is it? I've got a story about Marseille.
Go on.
Marseille kit.
I've got a story about Marseille. Jesus.
My first ever holiday away from my parents was away. I went to Turkey. I went to Turkey for 2 weeks. My mum sent me, basically, to give me the money to go to Turkey with my cousin for 2 weeks when I was 16. We went to a place called Gumbit, which isn't far from Bodrum. Now, if anyone has been there will know that Bodrum and Gumbit aren't like, it's not like, come to Turkey, look how amazing our country is. It's like, don't go to Bodrum or Gumbit if you're going to Turkey. There's just slags and wankers there. And I was one of the wankers. And I was about 16, 17, and there was this party going on, right? It was like a strip. You imagine the strip where you walk down and people offer you shots of drink to go in their club, and you realise the shots of drink are just fruit juice. They're lying to you. You're going in there. You can scam them by taking the drink and then walking straight out the back door because it's all open. And that's what I did a couple of times. But there was this one place here that was nice. It was a bar. It's like a beach bar. The beach was there, and part of the bar went out into the street, and it was rowdy. There's lots of people there, and some of the lads at this place decided to climb, because you do when you're 16, 17, first lads tour, holiday away, you're getting on top of the roof of the bar. So after a while, the security guards had enough of people climbing up. It's a security risk, isn't it? It's an insurance risk. They're probably not properly insured. I don't give a shit about these people. Anyway, tried to climbing up, and the security guard was on top of the roof. And he did this bloke was just climbing up on top of the roof like this. So he had no purchase either way. He was just, all of his efforts were climbing up to get up there. He had no purchase. And the security guard really calmly walked up to him and just gave him a nudge with his toe, fell off, landed on his chest on the bench, bounced off onto the floor. It was wonderful. Anyway, this girl caught my eye. I was just across the dance floor. I was like,
hello.
Do you know what? I'm a bit pissed up. Let's just give it a go, shall I?
Did you, as you walked over there, were you sort of dancing? And what was it, a dance walk, or was it just a simple walk? Or? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it was that. So what's up to it? And I just sort of started dancing for dinner, Jim. All right, lads. Fancy a bit of No, I didn't do that. We started. I went behind her and just sort of put my arms on her hip. You couldn't do that now. Got to ask permission. Always ask permission. But back then, didn't have to ask permission. Just didn't grab them, but you just sort of suggested, and then she backed up to me, and I was like, all right, we're good.
Where is this going?
Over the shoulder, give her a little kiss. She turned around like that. Oh yes,
Whoa! Over the shoulder, gave her a little kiss. What?
Well, she was the.
What, you kissing her like that?
No, it was just sort of like one of she put her head like that, and I just went out and give her a kiss on the lips.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay, I'm with you. Go.
Yeah. Anyway, turns around, her face was like, ugh. Ugh. Right?
It's sweaty.
She's turned around, and she's looking at a 16, 17-year-old, sweaty, very red, very blonde boy.
That's to be clear.
With a phony Marseille top on, and on the back it says Jean-Pierre Papin, number 9, Papin. And I had chocolate all over the top. Safe to say that was the first and last kiss I got from that girl. Wasn't the last kiss though, because I didn't take the football shirts out. Do you want to come down the beach? Yeah.
Cool.
What is that, a wedding ring? Take that off, love. Won't need that.
Yeah. Should have taken it off before we came out. Right. Brilliant. Mottos. We were talking about mottos last week. What was it? This means more. We had a few rattled Liverpool fans. Don't get rattled again because I've said that you're rattled. That's the part of the game. Well, quite a few. And do you know what's the best thing about rattling them? Was that they're trying to explain to me the truth, and I'm like, I've already won. I'm off. Anyway. Ryan Walker. So we asked for other people's mottos. We thought we'd just quickly break them down. Ryan Walker. Everton's motto is nil satis nisi optimum, which translates from Latin as Nothing but the best is good enough.
Well, I like that too, but I want one in Latin that just went, we'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Great.
See what happens. Yeah.
We'll give it a go.
Yeah. Probably reaching a bit. Probably haven't got enough, but we'll give it a go. Well, that's essentially Tadarius to do, isn't it?
Can we have a Latin? What would you call them? Like a slogan for the pod?
That would be wonderful.
So we'll give it a go. Is "You'll ere ad dere nobis."
Say it again.
You'll ere ad dere nobis.
You'll ere ad dere et nobis. Well, there you go. If that's what we want, we'll give it a go. Yeah, sort of a football podcast.
I tell you, if you want, we could probably record the Google how to pronounce it.
Maybe next week. What slogan should we have? What should be our Latin slogan? Let us know in the comments below. We'll talk about it next week.
We'll translate into Latin, and every time we mention Jaffin, we have to have the slogan added on top.
Yeah.
Got to say it.
Fair enough. Nothing but the best is good enough. I mean, I'm okay with that for Everton. I mean, the problem is you set yourself up to be a bit of a meme when you're not the best.
They've never been the best apart from 1987, which Everton fans, rightly so, still going about.
Yeah. Simon Bronson, Glasgow Rangers slogan, not the Rangers, the Glasgow Rangers. Always ready. Is there one?
Always ready is good. Always ready. Like, just, I know we haven't talked about it on this.
Not financially, were they a few years ago? We're always ready. Are you ready to pay your taxes? Not always.
No, I'm not ready to pay our taxes.
Yeah.
Just there's a caveat. What a story that is, though, James. Right? They've got this record, 10 in a row. Right? No, Celtic have never done it. Never won 10 titles in a row. Right? Rangers have done it. Celtic have 9. If they win it this year, it'll be 10 in a row. They're currently 22 points behind Rangers with 3 games in hand, but they're still 22 points behind in the league. Rangers in that time have been completely disbanded. They've had to reset up as a new football club, start at the bottom of the professional pyramid in Scotland. They've worked their way all the way up through those leagues into the Premier League, signed Gerrard as manager, and then within 2 years are potentially and likely going to stop Celtic from beating the record that Rangers had set 10 in a row. That is poetry.
He is. Gerrard is a proper hero, isn't he? Like, what a knight in shining armour coming in. It's better as well. It's better to do it this year than last year, isn't it?
Much better.
So much better.
So much better. And they're going to do it. And the thing is, he's already a legend at Liverpool. Right? Of course he is. He's always going to be a legend there. He's gone to Rangers. He has no affiliation to. If anything, the connection is with Celtic in Liverpool, right? Mm. He's gone to Rangers. And if he does this, it's like Rangers will feel about him the same way that Liverpool fans feel about him. I don't care. Like, I know it's only about 2 or 3 years. It's incredible.
Absolutely
amazing. What a story. What a story.
It does feel like it's one of those ones where it's like, I don't know, maybe it's unfair on it, but because it was so far in the, it was such a road, it's so road signed, if that makes sense. It's such a clear road to like 10. 10 is the one. We want 10. Okay, we understand it's 6 right now. Okay, it's 7 right now. Okay, it's 8 right now. But just don't stop 10. And I wonder if that all of that has just got to Celtic at the end of all of this.
Well, it's that, and also there's I don't know enough about it to understand why it's gone so wrong for Celtic. But Rangers drew, which while they're 22 points ahead, right? You're 22 points ahead. Rangers draw. That is Celtic win their 3 games in hand, and then they win the game that after Rangers draw. That's another 11 points closer. So then Rangers start to sweat when the pressure get to them. Rangers drew this week. Celtic up against Livingston draw as well. It's just they're ruined. And their fans are going crazy. Like, they're going mental. Like, they're outside of Celtic Park and they're trying to get at Neil Lennon and the board and they're chanting at them and whatnot. You won 3 back-to-back trebles. You're having 1 season. 1. and you're doing that. Honestly, success is fantastic, but also poisonous.
Yeah, man, it's mad. I'd love to know, Celtic fans, would you rather have just won 8 and lost to Hearts, and instead have got to nearly 10? I'd love to know.
Better. But then the thing is, like I've said this, and I always thought that as well. It's better to lose early than lose late because it's much more jeopardy. But with the Champions League, I wouldn't swap it at all because you've got to be there just to have that feeling.
It's the climb.
Can I? While I remember, there was a comment from Aram Hekmat on last week, and he says Flav is entering the stage 2 of Mourinho as your team's manager cycle. Outright anger and hatred towards the football and anyone that enjoys it. Outright anger and hatred of football and anyone that enjoys it. Mate, that hit me like a ton of bricks, I've got to say.
Really?
I hate anyone who enjoys it. Like, if I see a team playing good football, I hate their fans and I do not respect it. And it is.
Because you're jealous.
I'm being forced to reconcile with the football we're playing. And I'm jealous of other people playing better football. But I'm still with Jose Mourinho because clearly he's won loads of stuff and I want to win stuff. So I'm giving all of the stuff that actually is good about football away because I want to win something.
Here's a deep one. What feels better? Losing valiantly playing brilliant football or winning playing morbid football?
I've never won. I've never experienced us win anything apart from when I was 10. I mean, the League Cup, as much as I'm going to love winning that.
What do you think? What would you guess? Do you guess it actually would be okay just to get the...
Right now, I'm fine. Right now, I'm happy. I'll happily sit through 18 months of shit football if that's what it's going to be. And if we win something substantial, like an FA Cup, or even if we somehow manage to win the league, because we're not out of it yet, despite what people think, then I'd happily sit through that just so I'll have it, so I can witness the stuff. If we win the league, we haven't won it 80 years or whatever it is. So no, is it 60 years? But then we can go back to glorious failure later. That's always going to be there. But it is tough. I like when Leicester played against us and they played so well. Even Fulham, when we drew that game, Fulham played some really good football and looked more attacking and more.
It's a mix, isn't it? Because I guess if you've got to be successful, even if you are going to play like functional football like Leicester did when they won it, you still had some brilliance in there. You have to have some brilliance if you're going to win something serious. Like Mahrez obviously was just at moments won games single-handedly, and so that's the magic that will kind of make up for maybe other moments where you're trying to be a little bit more functional, or just the general like exceeding expectations is another one. That'll be it. That's the thing. So I think it's the winning is still trumps it, surely.
Yeah.
Right.
Rob just asked, do I miss Poch? No. I miss the season, the 2016
on the kids,
season.
Isn't he?
I miss that. I miss the season, but I also you can't look back at the entirety of his time at Spurs and ignore the last year, which was terrible. So he had to go. It was the right time to go. Never look back, always look forward. Mourinho's a manager now. It is what it is. Maybe someone a little bit more like Spurs are in a great position because after Mourinho, we could attract pretty much anyone we like, more or less. Like if we want Brendan Rodgers and he's not at Chelsea, we could probably get him. If you want Nagelsmann, offered him enough money, he probably would come because that's the club that Poch helped us become.
Katie makes an interesting point on the patrons chat. Even when you win and play bad football, you're also pissing off literally everyone else. It's like the best kind of win. Like the one that upsets the most possible rivals. I get what you're saying there, Katie. I would imagine there's nothing like a win like that once in a while. But if it's just those kind of wins all the time, then that probably starts to leave a strange little taste in your mouth. That's
why the win against Sheffield United, albeit against the worst team in the league, not anymore, was really satisfying and good because we actually played football. We actually played some good football. And Ndombele played in midfield. We had, he was in number 8, so we didn't expect him to just be a 10. We controlled much more of the ball, and it was much better. So, fingers crossed against Well, it probably won't be against Liverpool. We'll probably shut up shop again. We've got Liverpool on Thursday, a week today.
Next Thursday, yeah.
And we'll see. So it'll be a big game. If we win that, then people got to start talking about us again, right?
Definitely.
Right, go.
Right, important stuff now. Goals and facts. I haven't read some of these comments yet, but I'm excited to. Sarah, goal rumour. When I was young, my dad told me about the time he was at the beach and saw a little girl eating some chips when a seagull swooped down, took a chip right out of her hand and took her finger with it. What?
Chopped her finger off?
Yeah. Being a little girl myself, I obviously instantly developed a fear the same thing would happen to me and have carried this fear throughout my life. It is only now, as an adult, listening to a podcast with a weird focus on seagulls, that I've started to question whether a seagull would even have the capabilities to do such a thing. They are vicious, but are they that vicious? Love the pod. Thank you for the laughs. If anyone can help us with that, let us know just how vicious gulls are. And we can put that in next week's goals and facts.
Can a seagull bite off a finger?
It's more sort of questioning the strength.
The answer is yes.
How do you get an answer to that?
According to the Express, seagull menace boy nearly loses finger in capitals, and pensioner left bloodied by cannibal birds. And then there's a picture of a seagull literally swallowing a smaller bird.
Do you know what, with Great Touch for a Big Load, which is a podcast I used to do with my mates, and we used to have what was it? It was rat news. We had a thing called rat news because in the Daily Star, I bet if I just search Daily Star rats, there'll be something about giant rats, super rats. There we go. Rats invade street and attack. Cannibal rats, giant rats, super rats, brazen giant rats. That's the one I'm clicking on. Brazen giant rats. They love a rat. The Daily Star love a rat story. Brazen giant rats the size of rabbits and immune to poison taking over homes. It's just the greatest scaremongering. Look, they're always invading Britain. Super rats to invade Brit homes and they're millions. Will your home be affected? So funny. Oh my God!
What?
Oh.
What's happened?
They are pretty big. Oh my word.
Fucking hell, that is big. But the photo.
Oh my
that
God.
Is massive, isn't it? What, are you scared of rats or something?
I don't know. I didn't expect it to be that big. Oh, they are the size of rabbits, to be fair. Or maybe there's something.
Picture on the internet. All the shit I've seen on the internet. Nothing's reacted like that. I've seen awful things. I'll show you some shit, Jim.
Oh dear, that scared the shit out of me. Right. So there you go. Watch out for the rats. And watch out for the goals. Right, there was also a fallout from last week's goals and facts with Hugh. Hugh and his girlfriend. Was I rude? Was I bang on? Don't know. You decide. Anyway, Hugh Griffin said, managed to stop the stream before she realised you were talking about her. Boo! Boo! You are such a wet lettuce, Hugh. You are so wet.
To be honest, if there was this...
Oh, it's a bit of fun. It's a bit of fun. She needed to hear this. She needed to hear it.
Your girlfriend's an idiot.
I would go, fam, can you sit down and watch this, please? Concentrate. You might learn something. I'm an idiot, am I? Yeah. You might not be surprised to hear she isn't very observant. I have now watched the section on my own, and it was hilarious, so fair play. Oh, and there's a read more, which I haven't clicked on. Damn. The thing that made me laugh... Oh, God, I'm really intrigued by the read more. Hang on, let me just... I'll forget it.
I find it while you go.
Right, you
read through.
What I liked is the replies underneath.
What's his name, Hugh?
Hugh, yeah, Huw. Hugh Griffin.
All right, I've got it.
It's the replies I loved. Okay, can you read? Yeah, do the read more. You read finish off his comment.
He says, it goes, have now watched the section on my own and it was hilarious, so fair play. Don't make me go back to her and explain herself. I don't think I can stand to hear why trees aren't strong enough to hold seagulls again. Can I just ask her what she's won? Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess so. I feel like he bottled this one, Hugh, a little bit, if I'm honest.
I think he just wants it to go away.
yeah, he does. Definitely does. Just show her it, mate. Just show her it. Anyway.
If you're talking about it, she's an idiot. She's an idiot.
Maybe she is an idiot. The replies are brilliant. Prickle Fingers says this. Just drive out to the countryside and set her free. Never look back. Forwards forever.
Forwards forever.
Proletary Apricot F said, I'm just disappointed they weren't talking about Hugh Wizzy. Lol. Quincy said, Hugh, mate, she's not the sharpest. It has to be said.
There are lots of people that aren't intelligent that turn out to be lovely people.
That's fine, I'm sure. Yeah. McSlash, they weren't slagging her off. They were slugging her off. There's a very slight difference. You swap the A for the U. Apart from that, it's the same. I just love how funny you're off. The people that watch this podcast are so funny. That is such a nuanced joke that I don't think many people will get. You've gone, no, you've set up. The setup's brilliant. They weren't slagging her off, mate. They were slugging her off. There's a slight difference. You just swap the A and the U. Apart from that, it's the same.
I wonder if she was thinking about the small branches, and that's where her brain went. You know, just on the edge, because they're heavy birds. Maybe she was thinking about landing on the kind of capillary branches, the small ones, rather than the actual main trunky ones.
But I think, maybe you're right. James Smith, final one. And the response to this was from Hugh, which said, all right, that's enough now because this feels like it's getting a bit dark. This is the comment from James. If I was you, pal, I'd take her out to a forest, a suitable distance from any intelligent life form, obviously. Ask her what she's won, and then if there's no major honours, Charity Shield doesn't count. Set her free. Given the current climate, she's got to go. Oh, dear. Very funny. So, Hugh, I mean, I really would like to see her. I'd like her to write a comment on your account explaining herself. I think she needs to explain what she means.
All right.
Because I'm not sure she is an idiot. I think she just said something idiotic. And I'd like to see if she can back it up. Come on, Hugh. Let's go. Possible new bit. Petty acts. Daniel Galloway. Potential new bit. What's the best petty act you've done or know of? I really like the idea of this. So please take a thought. Is there something you've done that's really petty and you've kind of let yourself down a little bit? Me and my mates used to have this thing where they've got some food, you just knock it out of their hand.
Oh, yeah.
Same with drinks, isn't it? Same with drinks.
We do that with like people counting their change in their hand.
Yeah. Oh, that's what we used to do that as well. Like if someone's getting money out of a cash point, you just press 250. Like, because they haven't lost any money, but they've just got to put it back into the bank.
That is fantastic. That's fantastic. Oh, you fucking dickhead!
Yeah. Don't.
And then it's like insufficient funds. Oh.
Yeah. Which is often the case. Potentially a bit petty act that you've done or know of. I can't remember exactly what one of our friends did to spark this. But ultimately, he annoyed another one of the lads. The annoyed friend proceeded to make a TripAdvisor account on the name of the friend he was annoyed at, and even sent a profile picture of him. He then left really bad reviews on all of his favourite bars and restaurants. Truly brilliant petty act.
Are you one of these people that leaves bad reviews for a restaurant if it wasn't great?
I don't. Fam will do it both ways. She'll leave good reviews and bad reviews.
Yeah,
it is helpful.
No, I mean it is
I
definitely
at the time. I'm far too busy to do that.
I went to Benidorm once. Like, don't ask. Just went to Benidorm, right, with the kids. We needed a
just me and my Marseille shirt.
Yeah, this is as an adult. A couple of years ago, just took the kids to Spain, right? And do you know what? Benidorm, if you want something cheap where the kids enjoy themselves, Benidorm's fine. But don't expect to have a nice holiday yourself. All right? Anyway, what are we talking about? Oh, right, yeah. so I just phased out there. We went on TripAdvisor to find the best restaurant in Benidorm. Whatever it is, it's not going to be that expensive because Benidorm is what it is. There was an Italian restaurant. We was like, 5 out of 5. Unbelievable. This has got to be great. There was a queue outside. I was like, fuck, this is, I'm actually think we're going to have a good meal. Went in there. It was the shittest Italian I've ever had. On the menu, it says free drink for 5 out of 5 star on TripAdvisor. And the menu.
Done, yeah.
I got my free drink though, Jim.
Did you? There you go. Fair enough. So get your petty acts in.
I left and I was like, why are you queuing? We've queued. It was stupid. It was a waste of time. Why are you queuing? Oh, we always come here. What is wrong with you?
The only other one that popped into my head was Flav's got a mate who would enlarge the heads of people Facebook photos, like just a touch, just so that their head looks just slightly too big. And if you go back to One for the Weekend, the picture on One for the Weekend, I think my head's just slightly too big because I think we did that same joke.
It is. It's fantastic because you look and he goes, I look odd.
Yeah, something's not right here.
Why is my head that big?
I just want to see if it's. I wonder if it's on here, if it's still there because we can see it.
One for the Weekend podcast, Jim. We're not that big.
No, true.
There
it's just a bit too big.
If you can count it on a scale of 1 to 10, how hungover do you think I was there?
So hungover. Yeah, you were in a bad place that day. My head. Very good. That is really good. So get your petty acts in the comments down below. We've got ourselves crying children went away for a week, but it's back. Oh, it's disappeared. Hang on. That's not what I want to go to. Oh, I can't get to it. Damn, shame. Actually, might be. Here we go. Because someone was saying that basically. Oh, what have I done? Forget it. No, I've come this far now. Sorry. Was saying that there's some stock footage and you can get some really great pictures of crying children.
I mean, they got a bit of football. Type in .html at the end of that, mate. What are you doing?
It was on Alamy.
Type, copy and paste it.
Yeah.
Go back to the.
But I did that before. Right, here we go. Got it. So initially I was like, this isn't very good. I mean, that's quite funny. And this guy. But then when I scrolled down a little bit.
I don't want
stage. Look at this one. Look at this gentle single tear.
But I don't want stage ones. I want actual tears. I want people in pain. I want to see people in pain and laugh at them. I don't want staged pictures.
This is so staged. Look at this one.
Yeah, they're shit.
He's holding a beer. Should we get him holding a beer?
I'd only be interested in one if he's got the beer bottle and just smashes it on the kid's head.
Yeah. This is your fault.
This is your fault. I always hated you and your mother.
Daniel Burgess, new bits. There's some other options for new bits here. He says, I don't know what it's called yet, but when you say something incorrect on purpose to your mate to see if you can catch them out by getting them to agree with you. Sometimes they will even try to one-up you by correcting you with something even more wrong. Essentially, what Hugh's girlfriend did by trying to sound intelligent by rationalising how seagulls don't land in trees. So his example of this is Daniel's. My mate was talking about how Atletico massively overpaid for Trippier because he's an Arsenal fan. He thought he was shit. I said, yeah, it was something like 150 million, right? To which he responded, it was closer to 125, but yeah, 125 million for Trippier.
You're just talking bullshit.
Very condescendingly. It made him look like a right mug when I revealed to the group it was actually 20 million and discredited the whole argument as we'd been chatting out his arse the whole time.
He does actually average an assist once every 4.75 games this season. He's got 5 assists in 14 games.
Gareth loves him, doesn't he? Southgate loves him. 6 out of 10, Trippier. Right, my favourite bit of the podcast. Come on, lads. It's time for some high-quality rumours. And there's so many. I've put them all down here. Flav, you just tell me when you've had enough. We'll move forward, okay?
Well, yeah, just do 3.
Okay, all right. Or we can just do 3. I'll do 4 because the first one's quite short. Matt Rimmer, bad rumours. One week in year 9, there was a rumour going round that if you hand in your English homework, you're a chair sniffer.
Nice.
It worked as no one handed in their homework, and we had a group punishment as a result. Because you don't want to be a chair sniffer, do you?
The worst. Charlie
Smith, hi lads, just checking in, love the pod. I remember a rumour going round when Arsenal first tried to sign Ochoa that they couldn't sign him because he had 6 fingers and there's a rule in the Premier League that keepers can't have more than 5 fingers. Different kind of rumour.
I remember this. There's this lad on. It was like an influential Arsenal account, and there was talk just before Ndombele signed for Spurs that Arsenal were in for him, and that it came up on his what do you call it, like fitness test, like medical, that he had a dodgy heart or something, and Arsenal pulled out of the transfer, and that's why Spurs ended up buying him.
I remember that.
Just wait, within 4 months Spurs won't be able to play him or some shit.
Yeah, soon he'll be.
Look at him now. Look at him now.
Breaking Arsenal hearts. Ned Johnson, school rumour. I had a mate at school, and in around year 10, me and my other mate decided to circulate the story that both... Actually, if I've read this one, this one's... I don't know if this is... No, I don't like this one, it's dark. Sorry.
Just delete it, get out.
Sorry, it's gone. Daniel Cooper, weird rumour. When I was in year 1, this rumour started about this lad in my year that he took a shit in his hand and drew a tractor on the wall.
Good.
No one seemed to have seen him do it or even seen the said tractor, the tractor shit art. This rumour didn't only last throughout primary school, but all the way until we finished our GCSEs. Weirdly, this was never really used to bully the lad, but was just treated as something weird he did as a kid. I didn't know the lad too well, but he was always nice and quite the footballer. Excellent left peg. I asked him one day in year 10 in English while we were meant to be reading Othello. So why did you draw a tractor with your shit in year 1? He simply responded, art is art, Daniel. Art is art. Still to this day, one of the weirdest interactions I've had. Oh, and my college parody newspaper was actually called The Kumquat. A brilliant read, which is a nod to something else last week that if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. So
you got to own these things, don't you? Even if they're abhorrent.
Yeah, that's. There was. I'm sure I've told you this. There was one of our lads when he was about 18. He had a girlfriend, and someone. There was sort of rumours that he was cheating, and someone saw him leaving a house of a girl that people thought he was cheating with, and people say, What's happening here? Are you cheating?" Like, and we would take the mick out of him. He went, and he still was going, "You'll never catch me cheating. Remember? You hear me? You'll never catch me cheating." Terrible.
That is bad.
That is bad. Daniel Burgess, false rumour. Me and the lads and the ladies were on a weekend away for someone's birthday. It was at this old farmhouse with a big field out back and loads of cylindrical hay bales on a hillside. These hay bales were subject to a lot of rolling downhill. At one point, a few of them rolled together and created a cohesion of cylinders with gaps between them. The rumour was that he couldn't make it to the toilet from out in the field and shat down one of the gaps. Why has it always got poo involved?
Yeah, people are obsessed.
I know. I, not being present at the time, fell for it like an old lady down a flight of stairs. As did everyone. Because he is the sort of guy that would absolutely do just that for the fun of it. The ladies who caught wind of this, because all of them were outraged and disgusted despite his objections, which of course you would do if you'd done it or even if you'd not done it. And all his hopes of getting some lady loving disappeared. Unfortunately, really, because he didn't do it, nor did he deserve the stick. Still funny though. And one more.
Good.
Finn Gilmore. High quality rumours. I was round one of my closest friends' closest friend's house with another friend when I was about 13, and his mum cooked us a pizza. After eating it, she gave us a piece of melon and told his little sister, "If you don't eat fruit, you can have a treat from the cupboard." If you don't eat the fruit, you can have a treat from the cupboard. We managed to convince everyone that the cupboard had a padlock on and a sign with its name, the magical cupboard of treats. My friend was rattled by it so much that he got into a scrap one day with right. So they'd gone to his kid's house when he's 13, and then from there they created a rumour that there's a padlock called the magical cupboard of treats. Which is so shit. My friend was rattled by it so much that he got into a scrap one day with a lad who brought it up. I love that. Yeah, now you're a kid, you just cannot control your emotions, and so you just stop saying that. Part 2. The exact same friend (brackets sounds bad when I think about the rumours) had an old Coke bottle Coca-Cola bottle that he would refill instead of buying a new bottle, usually with water. The rumour started that when he had a bottle full of Coke, he had just refilled the bottle. When he got a new bottle of Coke, he had just actually refilled the bottle of Coke that he had to prove it wasn't the same bottle. Wow. Even spread to someone claiming the bottle had algae growing in it. He threw the bottle away in anger in front of all of us. No doubt he retrieved it later. I love that. I love that. That even in a comment, you can't help but just lay a little dig out there. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So many more to read through. We'll do it next week. Get your best rumours in. Terrible, petty rumours and petty acts in there as well. Finally, Gone Back United. All right, let's go find the Gone Back United badge. We showed you this last week. There he is. Remember this dude?
Yeah.
This fella?
Yes.
So there it is. Whatever the hell that is. So it's, some sort of, I don't know. God knows what it is. What is it? Bull?
It's a goalkeeping cow, isn't it?
It's goalkeeping cow. Sorry, of course. So there it is. So remember that badge, that picture of that. Get that in your head as we now read through the origins of this badge, because we haven't got time to Google it. Although we have got time to Google the badge. I'll mind of Callum. My mate, he knows what went down there, mate. My mate was on loan at Gone Back United and learned the true meaning of the badge from their only kit man before he was recalled to Asutagu Mures after a fourth season.
This is the kind of thing where once you've been watching a podcast for a few weeks, you'll get these things.
Yeah, if you've been watching it, you've just been lost this whole time. Stick with it.
Stick with it.
The badge is dedicated to the most memorable moment in club history. It was 1971 and Gone Back United managed to get an international game against none other than multiple World Cup champions, North Korea. It was a shambolic first half and Korea were winning 73-4. 3 changes were made at half-time. Well, you would, wouldn't you? Jackie Redtip, Stephen Horn, Brian Claw. Let's remember those names. Jackie Redtip, Stephen Horn, Brian Claw. The lads were top-notch academy prospects, so they were largely unproven, but the manager was under pressure to change it up as the senior players were clearly letting him down. Sources claim the second half scenes were made up nonsense, but that was proven to be fake news. Gone Back brought it back to 73-0, all I think he means, and in the dying embers of the 97th minute, Steve Horn, Brian Claw and Jackie Redtip had their own involvement in the whole game.
So they've come back to 74 all.
73, yeah.
73 all. They've come on at half time. Their only involvement in the game has been after all these goals have been scored. Fantastic.
A beautiful touch and go move to put Tiki-Taka lovers into climax. The whistle went and the young lads had done it. Gone Back United 74, North Korea 73. Kim Il-sung was furious and was about to sentence the starting 11 of Gone Back to life imprisonment. However, just before giving the order, he'd seen in the distance his lifelong lover, a cow. The cow winked at Kim and he demanded the directors of football at Gone Back to change the badge, which previously used to be black and white square, and dedicate it to his favourite 2 things, football and cows. The artist picked was given free rein and he could help add a red-tipped hat, some horns to the cow and claw hands, all for the 3 young academy lads.
Sounds legit.
Seems pretty spot on. Oh! Archie Ansell. I mean, struggle to follow that. Actually, I'm going to do shorter ones. Sorry, Archie. John Throp. I heard from a tour guide in Singapore once that Gone Back's badge refers to the goalkeeper and captain of the club's title-challenging side of 1972. He was commonly referred to as the Bull by the fans because he kind of looked like one. He's also known for having 4 fingers on each hand, something also referenced on the badge. The red triangle behind him forms a party hat on his head, as he loved to party, often getting pissed up on the pitch during matches. The yellow triangle is apparently there by accident.
Good.
Or Ifan Davies, Done some digging and found out the history behind the Gone Back United's badge. Apparently, in their first ever game in 1960, they were up 1-0 up with 10 to go. Suddenly, the keeper pulls up with a hammy injury, and they don't have a keeper on the bench. However, there's no need to worry. The owner's wife was nifty with her hands and came on to save the day. They went on to win the game 1-0 with a penalty save in the dying minutes. In her honour, they put her face and dashing blonde hair on the badge. 10 years later, the owner and his wife went through a very public divorce, and the owner decided to change the club logo. Now the old hag is portrayed as a cow in the current badge. The red in the background is symbolic as it portrays the sense of pain that she brought to the owner, but the yellow shows the ray of sunshine she brought with the penalty save. So it's one of those three. Which one do you think, Flav?
Bottom one, definitely.
Bottom one? The sad divorce. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I thought Callum's was good. So there you go. No options for new badges, so get them in. We'll maybe give it a break. Give the badge a break for a week, and we will return next week and have a look at a bloody new one. It's been a bumper edition, mate.
I was just looking at the former club logo of Gone Back United was so much better. It was just, I mean, you could even see this in English football. It's just a ball with the pyramids behind it, and they've changed it for this fucking monstrosity that we're talking about now.
I can't see
that has got to be the worst. If you go to the Wikipedia page, it gives you the previous one below. I think out of all of the awful club badges that we've seen, Gone Back United's most recent one is the worst. It's awful. It's like something you'd see in an early 2000s computer game.
Yeah, it feels like the spin-off from the Hurricanes.
Yeah,
that series.
Yeah, it's great.
That was a great show. Bring back the Hurricanes.
Hurricanes. Champion spirit is here today. Bum, bum, bum. Hurricanes.
They had an African player who didn't play with boots on, did he? Just played in barefoot.
A little bit problematic.
Yeah, I'm sure that's aged well. Right.
A bit.
Right, guys. Another great performance. Well done, everyone involved.
There's more to Oiland than this.
Exactly. Great point. If you've watched this far, then of course we've got a Patreon page. If you want to get involved, we do a mailbag every single week. We would appreciate the support if you do want to get involved and become an official slug. And also, there's a couple of videos on Ball Street with me and Flav talking transfers. So if you want to check that out as well, that would be cool.
A bit more professional, isn't it? A bit more professional.
A bit more slick, yeah. A bit more slick than this. So yeah, get involved in the comments. You are the show, so make sure you get your funny stories in there because I like to get to a point where I tear up with laughter. That's what I'm after every week, and you can make that happen. So thank you very much. Take care of yourselves and we'll
each other
next week. And each other. We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.